Well, Matt Walsh has released Am I a Racist? And this has been going on for the past couple days. A lot of drama surrounding this documentary or whatever, this comedy documentary. All I gotta say is verified audience score is giving it a 98%. Now, for the past 3 days or so, there were no legit critic scores, or whatever you want to call the tomato meter scores. I think it's a bunch of bullshit anyway, and all these critics are shills who, depending on what it is, will give it a 100% no matter what, even if it's total dog shit. But we finally had some critics come out here and got an 80% verified audience score, 98 all audience, 95 if you were a critic and you went to go review this. For example, Jeremy Jahns. The left has labeled him a racist and a sellout simply for reviewing the film. Now look, regardless what you think of Matt Walsh, whether you agree with his takes, whether you don't, personally, I think he said some dumb things when it comes to shit like video games. Clearly, he thinks kids should still be playing with wooden blocks. At the end of the day, if you are a movie critic, a film reviewer, and you are going out of your way to not do your job, to not review this movie, simply due to the fact that you don't believe in its political views, you don't agree with it. This is just typical leftist behavior. We don't want our viewpoints challenged. We don't want to go outside of our comfort zone. We would rather sit there in a real echo chamber. A lot of leftists, a lot of these fucking weird activists want to point the finger and blame other people, when realistically they are the ones who live in an echo chamber. When you are too afraid to go watch a fucking movie, that should say a lot about you as a person. Especially when your job is literally to review movies. Many have asked how it's possible that our new film, Am I a Racist?, hasn't been reviewed by a single mainstream critic, even with a 99% audience score, a verified hot rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and a top 5 box office debut. Basically, Matt Walsh goes behind the scenes and has been kind of showing off some emails here. We did, however, receive a flurry of unprofessional emails from independent critics who were enraged. We even asked them to review the film. Once again, you're an independent critic. Your job is to review movies no matter what they are. We saw this almost same thing kind of happen with Sound of Freedom, where they tried to shut it down and they tried to stop anybody from going to see it, anybody from trying to talk about it. They did not want that movie out in the public at all, and it actually had the complete opposite effect. People went to go see it even more because of that, and I kind of have a feeling it's the same thing here with Am I a Racist? Some of these emails, haha, absolutely not, hardest decline, I will not waste a second of my professional time on Matt Walsh. Well, you're clearly not a professional if you can't separate that from the movie and being a critic. You'd have to strap me to a chair like Malcolm McDowell to get me to watch this thing? Absolutely not. Once again, your job is to review movies and be a critic, then maybe you should just fucking get a new job. He goes on to show off some more emails and basically explain that a lot of these critics were afraid and they didn't want to step out and review this, but you had Jeremy Jahns step out, and now the left has viciously denounced him and pretty much anybody else who positively, or not even positively, I think it's just the fact that if you acknowledge the existence of this film, they will try to shut you down. They will try to slander your name. And on top of all of this, we can kind of go back to the Sound of Freedom thing here briefly. When they tried to remove it from theaters, they tried to pull all these stunts. Oh, the air conditioners aren't working, it's gonna be hot in the theater. Oh, our fucking films are broken, our projectors aren't projecting properly, whatever the case is. With Am I a Racist? Due to strong reactions from our community against the film and concerns for the well-being of our staff, the Del Oro Theater has removed or will not be playing Am I a Racist? Look, as a movie theater, I guess, yeah, technically you have the right to play what you do and don't want to. But something like this that has so much publicity around it, as a movie theater that, you know, the industry is kind of dying and you're not really doing too well, you would think you would want pretty much anything and everything to play in your theaters to bring in any sort of audience and everybody. I don't fucking understand that. You're in the business of making money and you're single-handedly denying movies to be played in your theater to make money. Not a good move, Del Oro. Not a good move. And at the end of the day, from what I'm hearing, I haven't seen this yet, but I want to. From what I'm hearing, this is actually probably going to be one of the best comedies this year, and possibly in recent time. Part of it being a documentary spilling the facts, spilling behind the scenes, while also parodying it, making fun of it, and exposing it in, I guess, a lighthearted way. My biggest issue is, if you're a film critic and you're bitching and complaining about this, then maybe you should go find a new fucking job. Maybe this isn't for you. If it's too difficult to sit down for less than 2 hours and review something, and that's your job, that's what you're supposed to do to make money on a day-to-day basis, yeah, maybe you should fucking get a new job.